I guess not many people know that the Tanya character is named after my sister, who's named Tanya, and as well as my other sister's name is Sonia.
Tanya is the daughter of an Edenian ambassador, but she has sided with the bad guys in previous games. She turned on Liu Kang in her ending in Mortal Kombat 4, that she, sided with Shinnok, and she sided with the Deadly Alliance even at one point. Now she's siding with the Dragon King, not so much because she wanted to, but because she was almost forced into it. She's an enemy of Jade and Kitana and Sindel, because she's a traitor. She's a traitor to Edenia, she's a traitor to the realms, and she's, not a good person.
Tanya has always had her boomerang projectile move, which is one of the more outrageous projectile moves in the game. And we're giving her that boomerang move in Deception again. And in addition to that, she has a weapon, so she has a bigger arsenal of attacks than she did in the previous games.
Let's finish him!
Jade was the third in the series of characters that was derived from existing images. Jade was a female ninja type character like Melina and Kitana were, and she was kind of like an evil version of Kitana in a sense.
Jade is a childhood friend of Kitana, which probably makes her thousands of years old, because Kitana is thousands of years old. The approach we've taken with Jade in this game, in Mortal Kombat Deception, is that she's more of the stealthy ninja type of character. She's the one that sneaks around and gets information, and carries out covert activities. And I kind of like that about her. She's about getting things done, and she's very loyal.
We wanted to give her something that separated her from Kitana Melina, so we gave her the staff weapon that was her weapon in Mortal Kombat 3. Not many characters had weapons in Mortal Kombat 3. That was really what we wanted to do to separate her from Kitana Melina. Smoke originally came from our memory limitations that we've had in doing arcade games, and just as Scorpion and Sub-Zero were using the same images and getting more mileage out of them by changing the color, when we were out of memory for Mortal Kombat 2, I always liked putting in secret characters in the game at the last minute that nobody knows about. That was kind of like the origin of Smoke and Jade. They were, just kind of like the alternate colored versions of Sub-Zero and Melina and Kitana.
He had a lot of cool moves as a robot. He had this grappling hook that would come out of his chest, and just had a lot of cool moves, which made him a player favorite. We brought Smoke back for Deception just because people have been asking about him for a while now. It was funny because a lot of fans like the ninja version, a lot of fans like the robot version, so we thought it would be a good idea to bring back both.
Every one of our characters in Deception has kind of two costumes, and so for Smoke we decided we're going to have him be a normal ninja like people had seen him before in Mortal Kombat 2, and then also his Mortal Kombat 3 persona, which is kind of like the cybernetic ninja. Players can pick which one they want to play as.
I believe Kenshi's name in Japanese means sword saint. His storyline from his past is that he used to travel Japan and challenge experienced swordsmen and warriors just to defeat them so he could become the best in Japan. Eventually he lets his ego get the best of him, and so Shang Tsung gets him to open up this tomb of Kenshi's ancestors, which blinds Kenshi. Shang Tsung then absorbs these warrior souls and becomes stronger, and he leaves Kenshi for dead. Kenshi then realizes what has just happened, and now he's got a vendetta against Shang Tsung. His sword that he finds there in the tomb is actually his ancestor's sword.
Fight!
You would assume he's disabled because he doesn't have certain abilities, but then we compensated it by giving him other abilities, and that kind of makes him that much more interesting of a character. So he's one of the strongest characters in Deadly Alliance, and you wouldn't think so having a character being blind. Kenshi basically has the ability to propel his opponents in various directions. Lift them up over his head and slam them on the ground, propel them behind him, push them forward. So it's really like he's a very powerful distance player where you have the ability to attack your opponent even when you're at great distances.
Fatality.
I think that Nightwolf is your quintessential Native American icon. Just a strong, proud person with pride. He's got honor, has rules, but at the same time, he is definitely no pushover. Well, the Nightwolf costume looked a lot better on the drawing than I think it did on me, but we made do. Nightwolf's fatality was holding his tomahawk up to the sky, channeling light into it, right into his enemy for his final blow.
Melina was created because we needed to stretch the memory in our game again. We were out of memory. We had a cool female character in Katana, and we wanted to kind of double up on that and give her, special moves and make an anti-Katana in a sense. And so that's kind of where Melina came from. And so then with Melina, we had also introduced Baraka, so we wanted to make a tie with her because Baraka was a really bad character. So underneath the mask, Katana is really beautiful, and underneath Melina's mask is, these really nasty teeth that were originally never on the costume, but we would just kind of draw them in on her fatalities.
Melina.
Hello, my name is John Parrish. I am Jax!
Fatality.
Being the big guy, I was using raw strength and mental attitude. Be energetic, to be powerful, to actually portray myself as a hero, as I would look at it.
John Parrish was great to work with. He was really one of the easiest guys to work with in terms of being able to do all the moves and all of the special attacks.
I am the real Jax.
We worked with him throughout Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3, and he did a lot of promotional stuff with us. It was really great.
When he first put the makeup on my arms, it took him 6 hours to do total.
Outstanding.
Actually, it feels great to be part of the Mortal Kombat legacy.
Carrie was easily one of the best people we worked with in terms of actors playing the characters.
Yes, I still have the Sonya costume. Every once in a while, I'll bring it out.
I'll absolutely see Sonya again in future Mortal Kombat games.
I would love to play Sonya again.
Well, I think Katana was really one of the favorite characters from Mortal Kombat 2. She was a new character. She had ridiculous combos that people, came up with that I had not even thought of. So when I saw people doing Katana combos, in the corner, you knew there was something special because people were taking the game in a direction that you wouldn't even think of. Well, Katana was similar to Mileena in that had a limited amount of memory than the Mortal Kombat 2 machine, and we wanted to get 12 characters out. So Katana and Mileena are really kind of the female version of Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Kitana wins. A flawless victory.
For Deception, our goal was to really say, let's bring back the nostalgic characters, and obviously Sindel, Nightwolf, Baraka, Mileena, all of those are in that category, and so we had to bring them back.
Fight.
The wig that we had in Mortal Kombat 3 for Sindel didn't have that much hair. We did a lot of After Effects touch-ups. She had this ability to scream at super loud volumes, and that would stun the opponent and give you kind of a free hit.
Sindel wins.
My first impression of seeing myself in the game, I was ecstatic because I knew it was me. I thought it was just awesome.
God of Thunder and Lightning, that just kind of became what his thing was. I think that was really kind of what inspired a lot of his special moves, was the fact that he was a god.
In real life, I am a martial arts expert. I've been doing various arts for probably 22 plus years. I'm wearing this hat. Got that on. Got that action working.
Yeah, the hat is gone. It was destroyed with one of the falls that Carlos took, and I don't think we've seen it ever since.
Do I have the hat? No, I wish I did. That's probably the one thing I wish I had. I feel really thankful to be part of the Mortal Kombat legacy, and it's changed my life incredibly.
place. It feels dark.
As dark as every heart that inhabits it.
Shujinko is kind of our next generation Liu Kang.
Through the conquest mode, you learn about Shujinko's past.
He lives in the MK universe, meets up with all the characters, and eventually trains to become a warrior.
It's kind of fun walking around, you meet with Sub-Zero or an ancestor of Sub-Zero.
I am Princess Kitana. If you are the champion of the Elder Gods, perhaps you can aid us in our struggle.
When you finish it, you see him at age, 60 or something like that, and that's when he is basically unlocked in the arcade game.
Shujinko wins.
Everything from, 20-year-old Shujinko up to old man Shujinko is voiced by Max Crawford.
Younger Shujinko is just a little variation of my actual voice. Good to see you again, Damashi. It was fun doing the old man. Oh, Master Boraicho, crack the dojo window.
My name's Rich DeVizio, and I played Baraka in Mortal Kombat 2.
We were trying to come up with characters, and we were going to costume stores and looking around and found a mask of this monster.
There was this very tight mask that I had to wear.
Painted it up, kind of made it all butchered up his face.
And I just remember tons and tons of water just coming down my neck.
And we took fake nails and put them on for his teeth and spray painted them silver.
This mask was skin tight.
And those made up his teeth. And so people don't realize that, this really scary creature is made up of, a mask and some fake fingernails that were bought in a supermarket.
That shoot was unbelievable.
Baraka hasn't been in many Mortal Kombat games, but he's been a fan favorite for a long time.
Baraka wins.
Sector and Cyrax were unique in that they were mechanical and they were robotic.
A funny story about Cyrax and Sector was that originally we could not think of a name for them. So Tony Goski came up with the name Ketchup and Mustard, Ketchup being Sector and Mustard being Cyrax.
Cyrax was one of the many characters portrayed by Sal DeVita. When Sal was playing Cyrax, I felt the worst for him because he had this helmet on that I remember him sweating a lot inside, and he had just unbelievable tolerance for discomfort.
The costume for Sector and Cyrax was really heavy. It was a lot of plastic armor and plastic chest plates, but then a custom-made helmet, but hot, uncomfortable, couldn't breathe, couldn't hear anything, but somehow we made it through it. It was great.
Cyrax always had a lot of cool moves, a lot of cool gadgets. His chest opens up and bombs come out, nets come out. In Deadly Alliance, he had one of my favorite fatalities with the big claw, slams the guy down.
Fatality. Johnny Cage wins. Fatality.
Johnny Cage was kind of like our version of a Hollywood action star.
He's the one character not to take too seriously. He's not a brooding hero. He's a, hey kind of hero. He's a Hollywood guy.
A lot of flair, a lot of pizzazz, still very skilled martial artist, but put in the situation with all these noble Shaolin monks and Lin Kuei ninjas.
Johnny Cage, to me, is almost like the comic relief of Mortal Kombat. He's the actor, so he doesn't take this all as seriously as a Liu Kang or Raiden or Kung Lao will take it.
Reptile wins. Fatality.
Reptile actually was the character that I came up with driving back to work from lunch on a Saturday. We had seen how much we got away with in terms of Scorpion and Sub-Zero changing ninja palettes, and I really wanted a super secret hidden feature in Mortal Kombat 1, and came up with these really odd set of circumstances to make Reptile appear. It was rare enough that people would say that they had seen him and nobody would believe him, and so it worked out perfectly.
I am Reptile. I talk like this. And then I have to go like this.
Yeah, Reptile, the infamous Green Man. It was another one of those characters where they swap some of the images from one character to another. I saw those moves that they told me to do that were for other characters, like for example the force ball, when I put my hands out and then a big ball comes rolling out. That was for Reptile, but here I had no clue at that time.
Reptile wins. Fatality.
My name's Rich DeVizio. I played Kano in Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 3.
We wanted to make a guy who was kind of half cyborg, half human, and so we put this metal plate on his face. Again, we bought something at a costume store and put makeup on and attached it. And the guy who played Kano, this guy Rich DeVizio, he brought it to a new level. He gave him his character. He just really became Kano in a sense.
It becomes a part of me.
When I played Kano, I actually felt that it was kind of a showcase for myself to become larger than life with this character. I really believe that I can be this guy, and it worked out very well. It's not hard for me to embrace a character and become it. One of the favorite moves that I like that Kano did was his fatality, and it goes a little something like this.
Kano wins.
Cabal first made his appearance in MK3 He was originally designed as kind of this nomad, sand person kind of character.
Again, we really wanted to create a character that seemed to have a handicap of sorts in terms of, like, he had this breathing apparatus that kept him alive. He still had these incredible powers that none of the other characters had.
He had a lot of cool moves. He had this dash, which he would run past a character, spinning him around, and then he could pull off some combos on him.
And everybody kind of liked his tornado move, where he would run by the opponent and then they would spin like a top and they kind of get a free hit on them. Cabal also had these hook sword weapons, that one of the few characters in the 2D games that actually had a weapon in the game. So that kind of made him stand out. He was actually one of the characters that was considered almost too powerful in Mortal Kombat 3. And we had to kind of tone him down for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
For Deception, we finally had the chance to bring Cabal back the way we originally intended him to be. We gave him the long trench coat, gave him a backpack. That was part of the original design, but back in the old days of digitizing, we couldn't really handle that. A long coat would have gotten in the way of the character's moves.
In the 2D games, we were really limited to the costumes that we could build, because it was digitized graphics. And with the 3D games, we build the costumes and the computer, so we can really do whatever we want.
Cabal's always been one of my favorite characters, so I was totally happy to bring him back for Deception, give him the classic design that we intended.
My name is Anthony Marquez, and I played Kung Lao. After the first Mortal Kombat, the creators wanted to introduce another Shaolin monk type character. They had heard about me, and I seemed right for the part.
Tony was probably one of the best martial artists that we worked with. You could see his character, the kicks are really high and they're authentic, so he lended a lot just because of all of his experience with martial arts.
So in terms of his attitude, the way he moved, the tilt of the hat, all of that stemmed from what I thought Kung Lao should be. The favorite part of my personality always stemmed from the hat. You put on the costume and you're still just a person in costume. But once that hat goes on, it's almost like being Clint Eastwood in an old Western movie with the brim of the hat hiding your eyes, and when you slowly tilt that head up, once you make eye contact, that's Kung Lao. It's no longer Anthony Marquez, it's Kung Lao.
Yeah, Scorpion's always been my favorite character, and he still is to this day.
Fight!
Playing Scorpion's cool. I mean, you get to be kind of just a little bit crazy, a little bit nuts. It's like you're a ninja. How cool is that? I've played him in Sub-Zero mythologies. I did some motion capture for Scorpion, and I played him during some of our live events for Mortal Kombat.
I am Scorpion. You killed me in cold blood.
As a player, if I get a chance, I'll always pick Scorpion. His whole play style, it just kind of suits my style of gameplay. I'm proud to have been part of the Scorpion legacy throughout the years.
The spear move has always been one of my favorite moves in all the Mortal Kombat games, and I don't think we've ever been able to top it.
Get over here!
My name is John Turk, and I am Sub-Zero.
You know, the freeze move in the first Mortal Kombat really came about because I was always a big fan of kind of setting up the player for a free hit.
We walk over to the game and, you know, they're playing Mortal Kombat 3 and, you know, the kid's playing Sub-Zero and I'm standing right behind him and he doesn't even realize that the guy he's playing is right behind him.
Let's get something straight. I am not a ninja. I am Lin Kuei. Scorpion was a ninja.
My martial arts style defined the character of Sub-Zero's based on the way I move. The way I kick, the way I punch, the way I turn, the way I move my leg when I do sweeps.
The favorite character that I played in Mortal Kombat was definitely Quan Chi.
Do not fail me! We have toyed with the ninja long enough.
Quan Chi was a really interesting character because he was created for a game called Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
You are responsible for this, sorcerer!
Which was an adventure game that was being produced at the same time as we were doing Mortal Kombat 4. And so we thought it would be interesting to have him make an appearance in Mortal Kombat 4 as well as Mythologies, even though those two games happen in completely different parts of the Mortal Kombat timeline.
Quan Chi is one of the most mystifying characters to me. We really don't know what his origins are other than he's from the Netherrealm and he's part of the Brotherhood of Shadow. Who knows how old he is? You know, he could be as old as the Netherrealm itself. But he is definitely evil. He is definitely an evil guy. I think of him as the greatest sorcerer in the Mortal Kombat universe. I think of him as being even more powerful than Shang Tsung. Rich Vizio was hilarious as Quan Chi. He really played the part well. To me, he is Kano, and he is also Quan Chi. He's both of those characters. You can't look at Quan Chi and not think Rich.
Now, on to Hollywood. The makeup was unbelievable, and I was actually able to act a little bit in full motion videos, which was very exciting for me.
I remember that the impetus behind the cabinet design on MK4 was the reintroduction of the series back then. They wanted it to stand out in the midst of the arcades. As such, they wanted to push the sides as something that you could not miss. So we did some shots in the studio, had Rich come in, put fire behind him, big old Quan Chi face, no one can miss it. And that's what ended up happening.
The first time I saw myself on the side of the Mortal Kombat 4 arcade stand-up, I was just blown away.
That chapter, Mortal Kombat 4, was the Quan Chi show in a sense.
Do not fail.
Shang Tsung, he is the symbol of evil for Mortal Kombat. He's always around. I think he's been in almost every game. His job in Mortal Kombat 1 was to win Earthrealm for Shao Kahn.
Shang Tsung's stance I thought was really unusual, and it was kind of like this. Very different, very unique from all the rest of the characters in the game.
Kung Lao, Johnny Cage,
Shao Kahn wanted to take over Earthrealm, and through the Mortal Kombat tournament, he was going to do it.
Shang Tsung was probably one of my favorite characters in the series. He always kind of had the sinister edge, more so than some of the other characters, a bit more regal kind of feel, and that's what I tried to capitalize on in redesigning him for Deadly Alliance.
In Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Shang Tsung teams up with the sorcerer Quan Chi, and the both of them not only kill Liu Kang, but they kill Shao Kahn as well.
Shang Tsung wins. Fatality.
There were actually 2 Goro models made, and one was used for the actual game and it was posed and, you know, changed so much that it kind of fell apart over time. And I have one of the original Goro models that's stashed away at home.
Flawless victory.
Shao Kahn was the big bad guy in Mortal Kombat.
Feel the power of Shao Kahn.
Well, Shao Kahn is kind of like the top of the ladder in terms of big bad guys in the Mortal Kombat series.
Prepare to die.
He was really the boss's boss in a sense, and he was basically the guy that everybody was ultimately trying to stop in terms of his invasion of Earth in Mortal Kombat 3. And he also had this charge move that would attack you with, and a lot of players didn't realize that all you had to do was duck underneath the charge move and then you got a free uppercut. Once they discovered that, he became a lot more manageable of a character to fight against, but until they discovered that, he seemed almost undefeatable.
Shao Kahn was killed in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, but nobody really ever dies in Mortal Kombat.